From the CBS 4 studios, this is CBS 4 at 10.
Happening right now, one person is dead tonight following a crash in northeast El Paso. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shelton Dotson.
And I'm Patricia Maya. Let's go ahead and get right to that breaking news. The crash happened near the intersection of Diana and Wichita. That's between Hondo Pass and Hercules, right along US 54. And CBS 4 at 10's Courtney Shoneman is live on the scene.
This happened just about an hour ago, around 9 o'clock. We know when emergency crews arrived here, at least one person was dead on the scene. Now, I'm here on Diana and Wichita in northeast El Paso. The two cars involved are directly on the other side of this canal. We do know there's two cars involved, and according to emergency dispatch, there were multiple people trapped in at least one of those cars, and the jaws of life had to be used to get them out. We also just got an update that at least one other person was taken to University Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. Now, we've been told that special traffic investigators are coming out to the scene, and they're usually called out to very serious accidents when deaths have occurred, and we know that is the case here tonight. El Paso police are on the scene. Special traffic investigators haven't made it out here yet, but police have already blocked off a pretty big portion of Diana, so definitely try to avoid this area if possible. It will be blocked off for quite some time. Stay with CBS4Local.com for updates on this crash. Reporting live in northeast El Paso, Courtney Shoneman, CBS 4 at 10.
Another big story tonight. Two Fort Bliss soldiers stand accused of smuggling illegal immigrants across the border.
CBS 4 at 10's Jillian Fertig shows us how law enforcement say the smuggling ring was operating and where the soldiers were finally caught.
Fort Bliss soldiers Marco Nava Jr. and Joseph Cleveland were arrested at a Border Patrol checkpoint about 85 miles southwest of Corpus Christi on Saturday. They're accused of trying to smuggle two Mexican citizens into the U.S. Documents state Nava told agents this was not the first time. He identified the leader of the ring and other Fort Bliss soldiers who were allegedly part of the operation. Documents also state Nava admitted each of the soldiers was paid $1,000 for the first successful trip and that they were going to be paid $1,500 for that second trip.
We were all just total shocked. Couldn't believe what was going on. Just from Cleveland, just didn't know what he was thinking.
Noah Cohen-Darver was a non-commissioned officer at Fort Bliss who oversaw the training of both Cleveland and Nava. He says he trained with them just last month before he got out of the Army and got to know Cleveland pretty well after a deployment.
We deployed to Afghanistan in 2013 for 9 months. Came back, had a great time together, watched each other's back, and that's it. Whatever other NCOs asked of him, he did without any hesitation. He was actually a really good worker, and it was just total shocking to see what's going on with his life right now.
Cohen-Darver also did some training with Nava, who he says was a newer soldier.
Nava, I thought he was a great soldier from the stuff that I seen him do. He was always called upon to do a certain job, and he did it without ever asking questions about it.
Jillian Fertig, CBS 4 at 10.
And we brought you the story first on our CBS 4 Local app. It's an exclusive from our investigative reporter, Cheryl Atkinson. You can watch her show Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson here on CBS 4. It airs every Sunday morning at 9:30.
Also tonight out of Fort Bliss, several soldiers may have been treated with unsterilized dental instruments. Fort Bliss is investigating the incident, which reportedly happened Tuesday at Chambers Dental Clinic there on post. Military investigators say the dental instruments had been washed but did not go through a final sterilization process. Fort Bliss has put together a medical response team to treat those soldiers who may have been affected.
I believe the risk is very low that any soldier could have become infected as a result of this, but the risk is not zero. And as a result, we are going to do a sequence of blood tests on all of these soldiers.
141 patients were treated at the Chambers Dental Clinic on Tuesday, but only 10 may have been exposed to the unsterilized dental instruments. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office has issued a silver alert for a man from Las Cruces who was last seen in El Paso at University Medical Center. 69-year-old Manuel Uranga was at UMC yesterday. He was wearing the very clothes that you see him in this picture. Mr. Uranga suffers from several medical conditions, including dementia and heart problems. Uranga is 5'4", 160 pounds, If you see him, call the El Paso Sheriff's Office or simply dial 911.
Las Cruces police are investigating a deadly crash on private property involving an elderly woman. Police say the crash happened just before 12:30 today at the couple's home on Pebble Beach Road in Las Cruces. Officers say the husband had his trunk open, so he didn't realize his wife was standing behind their car. Neighbors say the couple just moved to Las Cruces and hadn't stayed in their home for more than a couple of days.
And their neighbors across the street had talked to him yesterday and told them they were going to introduce them to us today. And we got a chance to do that. We give all the blessings to the family and condolences and hope that if they need anything, they can count on their neighbors because we'll be there for them.
The woman died shortly after the incident at Memorial Medical Center.
A woman is in the hospital tonight after being shot in the head this afternoon. CBS 4 at 10's Courtney Schoeneman was there as the officers tracked the suspect down.
Officers contained the area pretty quickly. We had the assistance of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Their helicopter was up. We had the U.S. Marshals Task Force was out here, and along with patrol and TAC officers.
2 hours after the shooting happened, Sergeant Enrique Carrillo says the man was found on Yandell and Octavia, just 2 blocks from where the shooting took place.
One patrol officer was able to track him down in an apartment, called for assistance, and they found him hiding inside.
The police department's mobile command unit showed up at the apartment on 1027 Arizona around 4 o'clock, about 4 hours after the shooting.
Because the suspect was found here, we're treating it as a crime scene. Okay, so we're going to protect the scene for now and probably get it processed by crime scene investigators.
This is the same area where a man was killed last week. Neighbors say it's gotten worse over the last several years. Are you surprised to know that a woman was shot just 2 blocks away?
No, not at all. Last week they killed another guy over there. Because all these people, you know, I don't know, they get crazy.
As we reported, Eugenia Durden is in jail for murder. She's accused of beating a man to death at an apartment on Missouri and Octavia, just a few blocks away.
I don't know, I hate it here. I gotta move. Too much craziness.
Courtney Schoeneman, CBS 4 at 10.
And rain clouds moving into the area. With your first look at weather, Chief Meteorologist Sandra Diaz is in our Forewarned Weather Center. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Patty. You're right. We finally have some showers, and I hope some of you are cooling down. Here's the latest on our radar, and there's a good line of showers stretching now just east of Alamogordo down into the El Paso area. A quick look at this moving on in shows that we've got some pretty heavy showers, some lightning associated with some of these storms. The one to our south has upwards of about 16 lightning strikes, and the one just south of Mesa has about 3 lightning strikes. We're dealing with a lot of rain out there, but a lot of heat as well. What this heat advisory means for many of us and how long these showers will stick around tonight is still ahead.
Sandra, thank you. It is a small sign, but it carries a very big significance. Tonight, the family of fallen El Paso police officer David Ortiz unveiled a sign at the intersection where he was struck and killed while he was on his motorcycle. CBS 410's Megan Lopez is live to show us how the family is honoring his memory.
Shelton, more than 50 people gathered here at the intersection of Lee Trevino and Vista del Sol just a short time ago to unveil that sign. It was here at this red light that Officer Ortiz was stopped on his motorcycle back on March 10th when he was allegedly run over on purpose. Tonight, just about 2 hours ago, his family and friends gathered here to unveil this sign in his honor. It's been more than 3 months since he died, but many of the people that we spoke with tonight say that they feel like it's just happened yesterday. There were plenty of tears and hugs going around tonight. Those who gathered also released balloons in honor of Officer Ortiz. The family tells me that they worked on getting this sign put up for more than 2 months. They're hoping that it will remind the community of the sacrifice that Ortiz made.
It was like about a 2-month process from the beginning. Started off, you know, us wanting to see if we could possibly put something that people would pass by and definitely say, you know what, Officer Ortiz had a presence here. You know, basically that's one of the things. It was a 2-month process. Went to the city, requested permission. They gave us a permission to do so.
I'm the man of the house now. My dad left me in charge now. And my dad left a legacy, so now it's my turn to carry it on. Now it's my turn to take care of the house, do what needs to be done at the house.
I had a chance to speak with Officer Ortiz's wife and children today. They tell me that President Obama wrote to them personally to offer his condolences. They also received a plaque this week with a Medal of Honor for Officer Ortiz. His son David tells me that he knows the family still has a long road ahead of them with the upcoming trial for John Paul Perry. He's the man that's accused of intentionally hitting Ortiz. But his family says that they are grateful to the community for the support that they have shown and that they are staying strong by leaning on each other. Now, in order to have one of these roadside memorials installed, you have to have the city's approval. It costs about $124 per year, but the city does maintain it for you. It's also important to note that the city council is considering modifying its rules when it comes to these memorial plaques. Now, they're working on a resolution that would actually allow the family members to not have these plaques at the exact place where the accident happened, but rather in a park so that they can gather to remember their loved one, just as a safety precaution so they're not next to such big streets. The city council will meet to discuss that resolution coming up in just about 3 weeks. For now, reporting live in East El Paso, Megan Lopez, CBS 4 at 10.
Closing arguments are set to begin tomorrow in the murder trial of Gustavo Valencia. He's accused of shooting and killing a man in central El Paso 2 years ago. But there's a second suspect, and today Valencia's lawyers wanted him to testify. They say he's admitted to police that the whole thing was his idea, and Valencia had no idea what was going to happen. But witnesses testified that both men planned the fight, and the state argued that Valencia admitted in a police recording that he helped with the shooting. The judge then ruled with the state. Count on updates starting tomorrow on CBS 4 at noon and on CBS4Local.com.
Today, the United States Supreme Court issued a 4-4 ruling on President Obama's executive actions on immigrations. That effectively blocks the plan by sending it back to the lower courts. Now, some families living here in the borderland have uncertain futures. Obama's executive order on immigration would have protected two groups of people: parents of legal residents and their children. Susana Herrera had come to El Paso more than a decade ago. She would have qualified and has been waiting for the plan to go into effect for the past 2 years. Now she's worried she'll be separated from her two children.
Well, they're sad. They had the hope that we'd be able to get permits and be able to travel, that we'd be given more opportunities and be able to experience different things here.
Herrera says she still hopes that Congress someday will act to make reforms.
The U.S. Supreme Court makes a monumental ruling in the University of Texas affirmative action case. Today, the High Court ruled that UT can continue considering race in their admissions process. This comes 8 years after a white student sued, saying UT denied in her admission in favor of less qualified minority students. UT officials say they are thrilled about the affirmative action ruling.
We believe that we have used race in the appropriate way, and this decision affirms that reality.
The current racial makeup of UT students is predominantly white, followed by Hispanic and Asian students.
Chances are you will see more El Paso County Sheriff's deputies out on the streets over the next couple of weeks. The Sheriff's Office has received money from the Texas Department of Transportation to increase DWI patrols. Additional deputies will be out in the county starting tomorrow and running all the way through July 5th. Deputies will concentrate on high-risk locations during times when alcohol-related crashes are more likely to happen, meaning after midnight. El Paso is also a no-refusal county. That means if a driver refuses to submit a breath sample, a search warrant will automatically be issued to draw their blood. Refusal to submit also leads to an immediate trip to jail.
Traffic alert. The road closures you need to know about that could affect your commute tomorrow morning.
Hey, he's a big-timer now. A former Aggie not only gets drafted, but a whole lot sooner than the experts had predicted.
Crash tests. The vehicle's now raising concerns over safety for passengers. That's next on CBS 4 at 10.